What's up? Today I'm coming to you guys live from the Belvedere Skate Park in East LA, and for today's How to Tuesday, we're going to be working on the 180 Barspin. So the prerequisites for this trick are 180s, bar spins, maybe you've learned like 90 bar spins or bar spins of fakie. All that stuff really does help the setup, but if you haven't, don't really stress it. You can really learn it all in one go just by learning the 180 bar spin, because once you start spinning, throw the bars and you catch them, then you're going to be forced to just fakie and then turn around. So that part you'll kind of get pretty dialed in. Also, it really does help to have like X-ups, just the motion of being able to like cross your arms and uncross them, because when you're spinning, if you don't feel comfortable and you don't want to let go, then you can kind of do like a 180 like half bar turn or X-up, and that'll give you like a little bit of comfort. All right, so let's begin. Approach the transition with the speed you normally do when doing any fly-out trick, whether it's an X-up, a turn down, a tail up, whatever. Then you're gonna want to 180, usually a little higher and a little more dramatic than you normally do. And what I mean by that is you're gonna want to like really form the full 180 degrees, and you wanna kind of do it slow and lofty. And the reason for that is that you're gonna have to spin a bar spin in there. So you wanna have a little more hang time, because you need the time to throw the bars, make sure your hands are off, catch the bars, and then get ready for the landing. An important thing is that when you're gonna throw the bars, you're not gonna throw them right off the lip, and you're not going to throw them like towards the end of the spin. You want to throw them at about anywhere from like 65 to about 105 degrees. So, just when you're getting past like the initial 45 and you're approaching your 90, that's when I start throwing them. And usually the reason for that is that you want to be able to like have the momentum started on the spin and then spin the bars, then let the G forces take you around the rest of the way. So keep in mind that I'm actually a little messed up with this trick. I'm left foot forward, but I usually throw my bars to the right with my right hand, so that's clockwise. But traditionally you want to be left foot forward and throw the handlebars with your left hand, and that's counterclockwise. So when I do a normal 180 bar spin and I spin to the right, I actually do a switch bar. So that means that I can also do a switch 180, throw the bars to the right, which is my regular bar spin, and it'll be a switch bar 180. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be doing them both ways. So I'll spin clockwise and I'll throw the bars to the left, and then I'll spin counterclockwise and I'll throw the bars to the right. Like any bar spin trick, the hardest part is actually just letting go. So once you do your first 180 bar spin, you're probably not going to rotate the full thing. You're probably going to do like a 120, 130 degree bar spin, but that'll start breaking your fear of letting go. And once you start doing that, then you'll feel more comfortable, you'll be able to rotate more, and then eventually, after a few tries, you'll actually form the full 180 while throwing the bars, catch them, land, and turn around. All right, but before we get to that point, let's break it down further. All right, so as you're leaving the transition and you're starting your rotation, make sure you're nice and level. That means both tires are even, and that you're slightly leaned back, like your body position. Then you start throwing the bars, and as you're doing so, you make sure that your head and your shoulders are still leading the rotation, but you want to stay focused on your handlebars. Make sure you catch them. Since you're throwing them, let's say left foot forward with your left hand, you want to make sure that your right hand is ready to catch them, then your left hand, and then you want to like set everything down. Make sure again you're nice and centered, you land both tires at the same time, or slightly back tire first. And then you spot your landing, fakie, and then turn around. Simple as that, right? I've noticed that a lot of people tend to bus driver 180 bar spins or truck drivers more than they do the regular bar spins, and that's because they don't feel comfortable letting go and rotating. But just be confident that if you're spinning the bars like at the beginning, like towards a 90, the rest of the rotation will come. You just have to have faith in that initial spin and chuck, because you're chucking the bars. If you're goofy footed or you throw the bars the wrong way, you're gonna want to throw the bars a little earlier. So what that means is that as you're leaving the lip, usually I recommend throwing the bars, closer to 90 degrees than anything. But if you throw them the wrong way, you're gonna want to throw them a little earlier, maybe even like 65 degrees or something like that. And for the reason for that is that traditionally, when you spin a 180 to the right, you want the bars to spin in the opposite direction, because when the bike is spinning to one direction and the bar is spinning the other, so they kind of like meet halfway, maybe not 100% halfway, but there's less rotation going on for each because you're spinning, the bars are spinning, and you meet at a position. As opposed to like when you're doing a 180 and it's called a top side bar spin, the bars have to do 360 degrees and your bike has to do 180 degrees, so that's about 540 degrees in total rotation, because you have to fully 180 and then the bars are following that same momentum. When you're doing a 180 to the right and the bars to the left, your bike might do 180 degrees and your bars might do closer to like, 270 degrees. And if you do the math, that's 450 degrees, so that's why it's going to be a little easier and quicker because there's less rotation going on. As far as troubleshooting goes, it's one of those tricks that really just requires confidence and some practice. Don't be afraid to fall off the back. Like, I know it seems terrifying that you're gonna smack your head or anything, but just be confident that you can kind of lean back and step off when you do land a little back tire heavy. And if you are gonna fall on your back, just make sure you stiffen up your shoulders and then lean your head forward. That way you don't smack your head on the ground. You kind of just hit your back or your shoulders, which sucks, but it's always good to plan for these bails as opposed to just have them come unexpectedly. Another thing is I noticed that people, end up throwing the bars and just kind of getting afraid and, flailing their arms everywhere. Just be confident that when you're doing 180 bar spin, it's a bar spin with a little rotation. It's not going to be too dramatically different, and just feel comfortable and confident and assume that it's going to all work out and you won't panic and everything will work out just fine. But if you do throw the bars and you start panicking, you shift your weight, you flail your arms, whatever, that's when you really do get hurt. So avoid that and make sure you're confident, relax, your friends aren't around there heckling you, and you throw the bars, catch them, finish your rotation, and then just tease her out for the chicks. Alright, so I think that covers all the bases for the 180 bar spin. They're super fun, and you can do them on flat, you can do them up stuff, down stuff, out of grinds, into grinds. There's a plethora of different uses for them, but just go out there and learn them and have fun. As you can see here, I did them on a couple different transitions. I did them both ways, and I even did the top side bar spin. So I rotated to the right and threw the bars to the right, and as you can see, it takes a little longer for the bars to come around, but it still looks cool. So that's going to be all for today's How to Tuesday. All in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you guys learned the 180 bar spin. I wish you the best, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with them, and once you get them dialed, make sure to tag me on Instagram on some of them, and yeah, we'll see you guys later. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and tune in for tomorrow's vlog where I go vote. And yeah, have a great one, guys. Peace.